Have you ever wondered what life would be like as a Chinese person during the pandemic? Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicholas Corcel, and you're watching The Literary Nomad. Young 19-year-old Hong Kong and New York-based writer-director Tiger G explored this topic in great depth in his recent short film, Wuhan Driver. The depth of storytelling is simply astounding for a teenage filmmaker. I don't know what his budget was on this film, but it looks absolutely incredible. For me, the immediate feel upon watching Wuhan Driver was that of The Batman by Matt Reeves. Simply put, the cinematography is absolutely incredible. Major shout out to DP Stefan Nachman and colorist Jeffrey Chance. I hope I said both of their names right, but they did an excellent job on the film. And as a quick aside, I think that's one of the best parts about watching new short films. You get to discover not only new directors, but also really exciting new colorists and cinematographers. Shortly after watching the film, I went to Stefan Nachman's IMDb page, and we'll probably be watching a lot of those films soon. The film, as the name suggests, is a slice of life of, well, a driver from Wuhan. The story, while relatively straightforward, shows us the wide range of abuse and racism that Chinese Americans face throughout the pandemic. We see Zhang, the driver, picking up several people in New York City over the span of 1 or 2 days. And between each ride, he talks to his mom on the phone. She's back in Wuhan and is asking him very maternal, very loving questions. She's asking him if he's eating well, about his love life, about his heart. Just overall, she wants to make sure that her son is doing okay. And through this dual narrative, a juxtaposition is created. We get to see the incredible amounts of racist abuse that they were experiencing from quote-unquote normal America, as well as on the other side, the familial love. We don't see a lot of the abject racism, the almost over-the-top caricatures that we see on the news. There are no Emmett Till or Adolf Hitler type figures in this piece. No, instead, the racists are normal, everyday people. People who, in other contexts, are probably very kind. People that could be your neighbor, that could be your friend. People that maybe, unfortunately, could have been us at one time or another. And that's what makes this film so interesting. It shows us how these microaggressions can compound and eventually bring somebody to the brink of suicide. It also demonstrates the importance of listening when somebody opens up. Which brings me to one of the pickups that I actually will talk about. Zhang is driving a priest who doesn't say anything racist at all. As the viewer, we're lured into thinking that this is going to be some sort of redemption arc for the rest of America. But it's not at all. Zhang is lured into a sense of comfortability with this priest and ultimately confesses that he's feeling suicidal thoughts. The priest then goes through the motions, says a quick prayer before returning to his game. No more than 15 seconds after Zhang saying he wants to die is the priest playing Candy Crush. You can see all of the feelings throughout the pandemic manifesting on Zhang's face. He doesn't say a word, but he doesn't have to. In that moment, it becomes clear to him that nobody cares about him, that America doesn't care about him. He's viewed as expendable, a worker that hardly even gets paid. His life is meaningless. And if there was any doubt about this, we see it confirmed in the final act. As Zhang is laying on the concrete, dying of a heart attack, in desperate need of CPR, he is denied that service by a man who knows how to fix it, by a man who knows how to save him. The man outright refuses, not for any logical reason, but rather for how Zhang looks, saying he's probably sick. All the man who knows CPR sees is a man having a heart attack. And while that man could be anybody, he's denied service because of who he is. He's denied service because he's Chinese at a time where it's not okay to be Chinese. And it's in that final moment where we see in no uncertain terms why it is so harmful to prescribe blame on a group of people for something that they had nothing to do with. From the pandemic of a few years ago to what's currently going on in Gaza and Israel. Blaming an action on people that have nothing to do with it only leads to more casualties. Casualties that could be avoided 100%. Your political beliefs, conservative or liberal, are irrelevant. You can be fearful of a disease and you have good reason to be. But extending that fear to a group of people who have nothing to do with it does nothing but cause the world further harm. And through this film, Tiger G explains that in the best way possible. He doesn't preach at us, but rather uses the power of story to teach a valuable lesson about life. And of course, this is something that I hope all of us should just know innately. Clearly not. And so in troubling times such as the ones that we're currently living through, films like this are incredibly important. And aside from all of the significance aspects of this film, it's just a great watch. It's wildly entertaining, and Tiger G is quickly emerging as one of the most exciting young directors alive. And shortly after watching this film, I found out that he's working on a project with Bobby Lee, which is set to come out shortly. Needless to say, I'm incredibly excited about it and will definitely be making a video on this channel. Wuhan Driver. Check it out.